With concerns about energy costs and the effects fossil fuels have on our environment, electric cars are becoming a more attractive option for some consumers. As County Sustainability Program Manager Sean McClendon tells us, it's also an option the county's Energy Conservation Strategies Commission is exploring.
We're out here on a beautiful fall day to learn about neighborhood electric vehicles with the Energy Conservation Strategies Commission. Let's go take a ride. Neighborhood electric vehicles come in all shapes and sizes, and right now we're in a 15-person passenger vehicle. Chair Penny Wheat is in charge of the Energy Conservation Strategies Commission. Chair Wheat, why is the ECSC interested in neighborhood electric vehicles?
Sean, everybody wants to spend less money on gasoline, yet everybody has to get around the community. The Department of Transportation says that throughout the United States, 80% of trips are taken for 10 miles or less, and of those trips, 50% of them last less than 10 minutes. So neighborhood electric vehicles, like golf carts on steroids, are perfect tools to get around our community. They're completely electric, they're plug-in. Because they don't burn gasoline, they don't emit the same greenhouse gas emissions that a conventional vehicle does. And they're affordable, so they're a perfect second car for families.
How much would it cost for a family to purchase a neighborhood electric vehicle?
I think these are between $2,500 and $10,000, depending on how you trick them out and what you want to use them for. They can only be driven on streets that are posted for 35 miles an hour or less. And one of the things the advisory committee is looking at right now are some maps so that we can make sure that there are no isolated pockets.
Isolated pockets?
Isolated pockets, so that like you could drive it around your neighborhood or to the grocery store, but you couldn't go any farther than that because the speed limits would increase. State law says that if you're driving a low-speed vehicle like these, you can cross a road that's posted a higher speed limit as long as the road you're going to is also 35 miles per hour or less. So could one family get away with having one of these vehicles? It pretty much depends on where you live. If you live close to public transit, or if you live close to where you work, or if you have what your other activities are. But I'd say, yeah, one family could probably get away with having a neighborhood electric vehicle. I'm trying to convince my husband to get me one.
We're going to find out what some other people think of neighborhood electric vehicles. What do you think? Is this something that's a viable option for people in our community to use?
Well, I think so for a number of reasons. One of the reasons would be that many of us don't need two large cars to do some of the trips that we need to around town, the local trips, but we do need a large car for some of the longer trips. And these would be a nice alternative for someone to use in place of a larger car. It's also a lot less money than a larger car. So for a family of two, or where they have two cars, something like this might make more sense. They're also very good from an energy standpoint or from a pollution standpoint. No greenhouse gases associated with these if you use a solar panel or wind or something like that to generate the electricity that's used in these systems.
It's a very fascinating option. We obviously have to start expanding the different ways that people have to get around without having to rely on expensive single-occupant vehicles. We have to diversify our transportation network, and bicycles and walking are not for everyone. You have a little bit more mileage to cover if you need to be able to pack along some groceries. This kind of technology, as we continue to develop it, will give more people more different options that are cost effective and better for the environment. So I think it's an exciting technology.
We've learned a lot about neighborhood electric vehicles today. Right now, I'm going to go for a ride.